Hello and welcome back to another edition of the Foundational Fathers podcast, where faith runs deep, duct tape fixes everything, and being a dad is a high calling, even when your kids think you're embarrassing. I'm your host, Nick Sash, the mute bass player, as well as I'm joined with the man of the hour, the dadpod, none other than Marcus the Philippine Phillips, a dad Bible scholar and dad joke assassin for every occasion. Marcus is in the building.
That's right. I'm basically the duct tape that holds this podcast together.
You heard that right. Today, we're talking with a living legend, the GOAT guitarist behind the iconic Christian metal band Whitecross, the one and only Rex Carroll. He's toured the world, shredded for Jesus, and he's here to share his story of faith, fatherhood, and face-melting solos. And
before we go any further, we got to shout out this from the mountaintop, or at least a mosh pit.
Yeah, for sure. Whitecross is back with a brand new album that is absolutely fire. That's right, Fear No Evil dropped, and it's not just an album, it's a spiritual weapon with classic riffs, fresh fire, bold gospel truth wrapped in every face-melting Rex Carroll solo.
If you thought Christian rock was done making noise, think again. This one kicks fear in the teeth and lifts up the name of Jesus with every track.
So after you finish this episode, go stream Fear No Evil. Better yet, buy an actual CD by Whitecross. It's available on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and wherever you can rock out. But most importantly, pick up a disc. Fear is canceled in this album. Jesus reigns, and Whitecross is shredding once again. Welcome to the show, Rex.
Awesome. Well, I just want you guys to know one thing. I'm only here for the dad jokes.
All right.
And you know what? I got some coming your way. Because before we dive in to these riffs and, of course, the revival, Marcus, I believe it's your time to shine.
All right. So my wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall.
Yeah?
I said maybe.
Oh.
What do you call two monkeys that share an Amazon account?
I don't know.
Primates. Oh, I like the name Bree, but it's a little cheesy.
Oh, hey, Rex. What do you call a guitar player who always carries a Bible?
I don't know.
A Shredempton story.
Oh,
well, you know, I had a serious thing that happened yesterday. A good friend of mine lost his leg in a horrible wood chipper accident. You know, but I had warned him beforehand, if anything goes wrong, don't come running to me. But he's okay now. He said he wanted to sue somebody, but I said, I don't think you have a leg to stand on. He's okay now, though. He got a job at the IHOP. Yeah, with his girlfriend, Eileen.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's great, man. Hey, you know, we can't let the drummers get away with anything.
Yeah.
You know why the drummer got kicked out of the Bible study?
Why?
Because he kept losing his temperance.
You know, I always found when it comes to drummers that it's a good idea to put a pair of drumsticks in the dashboard. That way, you get to park in the handicap spot.
That's awesome.
My son asked me to buy him a 16-piece drum set. I told him no, and he called me the cheapest dad in the world. But I'm not buying it.
Right.
What else you got for me, Marcus?
Oh man. Okay. Now let's see. What do we have here?
Well, I'll tell you what. While you're thinking of that, I got to tell you, I needed another Pepsi Zero last night. So I went to the 7-Eleven, and I figured it was fine. It was around midnight. I figured it was fine because the sign says open 24 hours, right? But the manager waves me off and he says, we're closed. I said, the sign says 24 hours, but he goes, not in a row.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, man. So I just want to let you know what my dream job would be cleaning mirrors.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can see myself doing that.
You know, there was this joke about a jump rope, but I think I'm just going to skip over it.
Yeah.
I'm reading a book about anti-gravity.
It's hard to put down.
I can't put it down.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
If the front of your car says Dodge, do you really need a horn?
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't listen to it. I'd play chicken.
Yeah, I bet.
My mechanic said he couldn't fix my brakes, so he just made the horn louder.
That's right.
That's so awesome.
Now, what I really want to know is what happens if you get scared half to death twice in a row.
Exactly.
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I got some dehydrated water. You know, it's really great. All you do is just add water.
Right.
Oh my goodness. That's great. Oh, Marcus, I think you've been dethroned.
I know. Well, I mean, he's got some time on me.
Oh.
I told my pastor, I said, you know, you can preach your sermon all you want with all your newfangled 21st century technology and all this internet and stuff. I said, but you know, technically speaking, Moses is actually the first man to download files from the cloud using a template.
Yeah. He was also the first one to break all 10 commandments.
Very good. Yeah, so quiz question. Who is the shortest man in the Bible?
Oh, I know this one.
Zacchaeus?
No, it's Nehemiah.
Many people think it was Nehemiah.
Yeah, he's the second one. It's the Shuhite.
But it was actually, as the true scholars know, that it was actually Bildad. He was a Shuhite.
That's right. Bildad the Shuhite.
Oh, wow.
And then Nehemiah is the second one.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Right. What's the difference between a guitar player and a certificate of deposit?
One gains interest, or one matures.
Unlike the guitar player, the CD eventually matures and makes money.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I said to my mom, Mom, when I grow up, I want to play guitar. She said, well, honey, you can't do both.
Oh.
No, last one for me. I could just keep going all night. But what's the difference between a jazz guitar player and a rock guitar player?
I haven't a clue.
The jazz guitar player plays 10,000 chords for 4 people.
Oh.
The rock guitar player plays 4 chords for 10,000
There you go.
people.
Yeah. Oh man.
What should you do? What should you do if the lead singer's at your front door?
I don't know.
This one's mean. This is a mean one. Don't worry about it, because he can't find the key and he doesn't know when to come in anyways.
Yes. I'd say I knew that one. Like,
yeah, I think I've heard that one before. Yeah.
Yeah. What should you do if the bass player is stumbling around in your front yard?
Forget about it.
We'll shoot him again. This is my all-time favorite. How does the female lead singer change a light bulb? Sorry, ladies, this one's really mean. All in good fun, though. How does the female lead singer change the light bulb? Well, she just holds on, and the rest of the world revolves around her.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh, this is great.
So my mean one I kind of had. I did it right before Mother's Day. But do you know why God created Adam first?
Why?
I gave him a chance to speak.
On that note, it's a fact that men will arrive in heaven a half hour before the women. You know this, right? Yeah. It's in Revelation chapter 8, verse 1. And there was silence in heaven for about a half an hour.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, those are solid jokes from the GOAT and, of course, Marcus, the axe-slaying dad joke assassin.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Rex got me there.
I think I might have to use some of those in the future. But anyway.
How come they have interstate highways in
I have
Hawaii?
no clue.
It's just
because they're in that state.
They're in that state, true. Very true. Well, now is my favorite segment It's called fix it or duct tape it. All right. As a musician, we all know that duct tape is very useful on the road. So Rex, it's time for this segment. That we find out what your faith in duct tape is really all about. That you probably fixed more gear with duct tape than most worship leaders have guitar picks. So we'll throw out a scenario, and you tell us if you'd fix it properly or slap some Jesus strong duct tape on it. All right?
Trust me, bro. I got guitar picks. I got gazillions of them.
So your tour van AC goes out mid-July in Texas. Do you duct tape it and pray for a cold front, or fix it?
I don't know.
I mean, I've been there, done that. I just pray. I just go with it.
That's happened to me
No
before.
AC, who cares?
Yeah, you got 360 service.
Yeah, we had the RV tour from Hades. We got down. Everything started out great. We're from Chicago, right? Well, great. Played St. Louis, and we're working our way down towards the bottom, and then we make a right-hand turn and start, going west across Texas. And we were in Texas for like 2 weeks. It was like, Texas is a big state. A lot of cities there. Somewhere in the middle of Texas, the AC went out, and this was in August.
Oh.
And we were miserable.
Oh, absolutely.
Then we got to California and started working our way up from San Diego. Started working our way up, and then we got to Toronto. No, not Toronto. What's the one?
Vancouver. Okay, yeah.
Vancouver. Yeah, we got up to Vancouver. Now we made another right-hand turn, and we start going back, towards working our way back towards like Detroit, and somewhere up in the Canadian wilds, the heat went out, and then we're like freezing in Texas. Everybody's like in their underwear and sweating, and then by the time we got up to Canada, everybody's like, "Oh, you put your jacket on, put all your clothes on," and everybody's like trying to stay warm. So,
man.
That's a little tourist
That's
story.
awesome, man. Oh, I got plenty of those as well.
Yeah.
So I got a question since you're a guitar player.
All right. This is duct tape. Another duct tape.
Yeah, this is about duct tape. So you break a string mid-song during an altar call. Do you duct tape it and play on, or do you just leave it alone until all the strings are gone?
Well, I just play
on. Me too. Yeah. I've only broken one bass string on.
Yeah, I used to endorse. I had an endorsement with PV, and a lot of the gear was good, and a lot of it was not so good. They sent me out the door with like $100 worth of strings, like just boxes and boxes. But the top E string would always break, and the D strings were like never intonate properly. So I just destroy sets of strings, just trying to find another string. It was pretty rough.
So another duct tape.
I got to change strings for every gig.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So another duct tape off the top of my head here, because I have a story. So you're driving down the road, it's pouring down rain, and your windshield wiper blade flies off. Do you pull over and apply duct tape to the metal part that's still left and keep moving forward? Or do you find the nearest auto shop and fix it?
What did you do?
Oh, I duct taped it. Duct tape only lasted about 30 seconds. Once I started going down the road, it flew off too, but hey.
You clearly didn't duct tape it right.
Yeah.
Tape it? Break it.
I mean, it worked out. There was a cop behind me following me, so I'm sure he was getting a kick out of the fact that the duct tape just flew off, but oh well. Then eventually the whole arm actually fell off, but So anyway, the last one I have for fix it or duct tape it is, let's say you're a father wants a sailboat and you find him one
Okay.
with a hole in it, do you say, "Sure, Father, I'll buy you this one. Here's a roll of duct tape"? Or do you get it fixed and say, "Bon voyage"?
Well, I guess you get the duct tape because you know what the word boat is an acronym. You know what it stands
No,
for?
what does it stand for?
Bust out another 1,000.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, well. All right. I got another rapid fire, no explanations.
Right.
Yeah, no explanations, just rapid fire. So let's see how metal your heart really is. Leather strap or cloth strap?
Leather.
Psalms or Proverbs?
Ooh, it's well, it's equal amounts of both for me.
I'll let you have that one.
Depends on
Big stage or campfire jam?
big stage, baby.
All right. Now this next one's gonna hit. Striper or Petra?
Yeah. Well, I have to go with Petra.
I figured you would go that route. I thought you might even go no comment. You value your friends, but oh, all right.
How about
You know, that's rock and roll with Rex. Where choices were made, guitar gods were judged, and a few scared cows may have been tipped over. All right. You made it through the tour bus chaos. Now it's time to face the real heat. Welcome to the segment where respect meets roasting, and the only thing louder than amps is sarcasm. It's time to guest roast Rex Carroll.
guest roast?
Guest roast Rex Carroll. You know, we've got honor our guest with a proper foundational father's welcome. You know, Rex Carroll has been melting faces for decades. He's the only guy I know who can summon revival and tinnitus with the same solo. He plays so fast, his fretboard has calluses. You know, true story. Rex once broke a string and baptized 3 people in the same 30 seconds. You know, wild.
Good.
Let's get real for a moment, though, Rex. What does it mean to be a foundational father in your music and in your family?
What it means is that my entire life, Whitecross has been the guinea pig for everything. And I'm so tired of being the guinea pig. We're still the guinea pig. Oh, we don't know if this Christian rock music is going to work. Well, when we got signed to the Pure Metal label, half the label was against it, including the president. He thought it was this is a bad idea, but there was one guy, Gavin Morkel, who pushed for us, and he got us. And they finally said, "Okay, Gavin, we'll let you do this project since you want to do it." And so we were never anybody's first choice. Thankfully, at that time, I just had a vibe. I was young enough that the music of the '80s was my generation, right? I mean, everybody in my age bracket was all listening to the same stuff, which was basically a lot of the LA metal scene, and some of the new wave of British heavy metal. You know, some of the European bands like Scorpions and Judas Priest, and some of that, and Zeppelin and Sabbath, and so I grew up on all those bands in the '70s. But I had a feeling that people, other than Striper was great. I mean, I was a huge fan. Went bought tickets. We would go see them play whenever they'd come through, and I loved what they were doing. I loved the early albums.
Yeah.
That's the time frame of that band that I really enjoy. And it was a little bit more lightweight than what they are now. It was more around the vocal harmonies and things like that, which is great. I love that. And was fun. You know, it was just everything was fun, and there was sort of a sense of a calculated sense of innocence. But that's what it was. And I just had a feeling that, man, other than Striper, there was no other band that's making this sound. And there are some groups that come close. All the other bands. Barren Cross, Bloodgood, Messiah Prophet, some of these other groups. And I'd seen them all, and they're all great guys with great ministries, and they've done their own things in their own way, and they have their own great stories to tell. So I think there was a lot of us that were starting out in that music kind of at the same time. My particular interpretation of the scene was there's no, I always had this. I was always really adamant about you need a three-legged stool. If you have a good song, and then you have a good a lead singer, and then you have a lead guitar player. Those are like the three gotta have it's. So you find bands that had great musicians, but they didn't really have songs. You have bands that have songs, but the vocals are like kind of weak, or the lead guitar was not really shreddy enough. So you got to have all those things, and then the fourth leg of the table, of course, is the rhythm section. The bass and the drums and the visual elements.
Got to shout out to them for sure.
Which we were never great at because we just never had the right look for that. But so when we came out, I had already been on a major label on Atlantic with the Fierce Heart band, and coming into Christian music with Whitecross, I didn't really have any expectations, but like boom, it was all word of mouth because the record label was very tiny. They didn't spend any money on advertising. They didn't do a whole lot for us. It was all word of mouth, and turned out that my gut feeling was correct. People were just waiting for a group with lead guitar and vocals, and Scotty, as we all know, had a sound. We used to go, Scotty, your voice sounds a lot like Stephen Piercy. Who's that? Who's that? It's like the guy from Rat. It's like, oh, well, I don't listen to them. And it's true. He really didn't. He really was not familiar with any of that LA heavy rock metal scene. He was just he liked groups like Kansas and Styx and Journey and Boston, like vocal harmony groups. And he loved Petra. And, and I referenced these secular bands because when I was coming into Christian music, I had the only bands that I really knew of was Striper and Glenn Kaiser was a friend of mine.
Yeah.
We go back to about 1977. And that's it. So that's when we started out. That was the scene, and that's I'm shy. I have no idea what the question is you're asking.
That's okay, man. These are great.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Yeah, I was gonna say, speaking of like introduction and like early on Whitecross music that I really fell in love with your guitar playing. It was No Second Chances and then In His Hands. Those two songs off that album, In the Kingdom, were but one was like really driving and then one was like really melodic, and you seem to like flow the two so close together. I think, if I'm not wrong, I think one goes into the other on that album. I think you lead out of one and into the next. But I mean, that really turned me into wanting to do music myself, hearing that album.
Great. Yeah.
And your new album, I feel like it has a lot of the same character, the same like flow back and forth that you did back then.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see that you really haven't lost who you were from then to now.
Yeah, I think well, I like there was Angus Young said about AC/DC was being tongue in cheek, but I thought it resonated with me. He said, "I get really mad when people say we have 14 albums and they all sound the same. Everybody knows we have 16 albums and they all sound the same."
Yeah.
It's like I feel a little bit the same way with Whitecross. It's like, you know what? We need this thing stay in your
Right.
lane.
Yeah.
I mean, and you sort of have to know what your
Right.
lane is.
Yes.
You have to know who you are, and you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. Now, my thing as a writer has always been, yeah, stay in your lane. Like you got, 8 out of 10 songs need to be right down that, walking right down that line that we've been walking on for 30, 40 years, whatever
Yeah.
it is. And then but in the interest of expanding the palette, we're always going to take a chance on a song, and we've had, hits and misses.
Yeah.
With the songs, where we get out of the rock and roll stuff.
Yeah.
But the rock and roll stuff has been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And always, you want to release something where you can go, it's all killers, no fillers.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
That's always a goal. So we never intentionally, you want to try to write something where you could just pick any song off the record and that could be the single.
Absolutely. So
Now it doesn't always work out that way, but that's always the mindset.
Yeah. So when it comes to writing music, how do you go about with your lead work? Is it more like lyric led first, and then you kind of pick it out, or you kind of like a riff and then go from there?
Can you hear this guitar? All right, so I had this little riff I was working on. I might have been listening to a bit of Michael Schenker at the time. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I just kept playing this riff. Then my good friend and every now and then we played together. A bass player friend of mine, Tony Acevedo, came to me with his lyrics. He'd written like 5 pages of lyrics, detailing. He had like a 10-year journey to sobriety, and getting right with the Lord along the way was like the thing that finally made it possible. And I was so proud of him at that. And so I condensed it all down to, very heavily edited lyrics. And so we did that song "Man in the Mirror" for the new album. And that was a case of here's lyrics that, come together with the music. And same thing happened with Dave Roberts, our new singer. He had written these lyrics for the song "Wishing Well," and I sat on them for I've known Dave since 10 years ago, and I had sat on these lyrics for a few years, and I kept coming back to them. Man, these are good. There's some good lyrics in here. I'm not quite sure how to, And then one day I just popped out a guitar and started strumming along, and then the whole thing was there with the chords and the melody and everything. Wow. So sometimes there's on a subconscious level when that there's a new album that's coming. It's coming and it's coming out, and then the brain just sort of goes to that. In the background, the wheels are turning, and then you start cranking out new ideas. But for me, a lot of it is you got to have a great guitar hook to hang a vocal melody on.
Absolutely. I think Whitecross, as a whole, from the beginning of time that you guys were a band till now, still has a way of bringing bold truth unapologetically to the world that's out there today. How do you think that men of God can benefit from that same boldness in their own lives and their own families?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll sort of answer that in a roundabout way. You know, when I was saying, here's the analogy for a three-legged table, or making a stool where you have a song, a guitar player, and a singer. Now, in the case of Whitecross, we try to have those things, but we are very direct about our lyrics are never going to be watered down for the sake of trying to reach a wider audience. We are never going to, we'll always try to be artistic, but we want people to know that this is a Christian band and we are all about evangelism and songs that reflect on the glory of God. And when I was a kid, I used to listen to Black Sabbath records, and I loved that band so much. And they would talk about spiritual things, but they could never, they'd always give you like the warning against evil. They talk about the devil and all the bad stuff, but they never could get over that hump. And hey man, isn't it obvious? Just give glory to God, man. Because that's what was all the part that was always missing from their lyrics. And so I thought, well, there's got to be somebody who's going to give God the glory in their songs. And gee, I don't see any other bands doing it. Okay, well, I guess I got to do it then. So that was a mission that I started out on from about the age of like 20, and it's like, that's when God tells me to do something different, I'll do something different.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of leads.
But it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened yet. And what I like to say is, you can give God the glory now, or you can give it to Him later. That if you choose not to glorify the Lord now, that bass guitar that's hanging on the wall behind you, God can say, okay, bass, grow a mouth and sing my praises. And the bass will do it. He can use an inanimate object if he wants to, but he doesn't do that. He gives us the opportunity to praise him now. So you can praise him now freely with great contentment and joyfully giving the Lord the glory, or you will do it later.
Yeah, for sure.
Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. Boom. End of story. I rest my case.
Amen. So my question for you is, how do you stay grounded as a man of faith while living in this world that thrives on ego and applause?
Well, I haven't always. It's a mixed record. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I've been a stalwart of the faith. I've had my issues along the way. Many times I've been I've thought of myself as a Jonah. Yes, I have gone and done the gig, but sometimes I feel like I'm getting dragged along, kicking and screaming. When you're a young man, you're hungry for that gratification, and then when you get some of that gratification, I mean, we went through a little period there where we were like white hot, just everything we touched was like molten lava. It's like, I had an intuition that people were going to like what we did. Lo and behold, they did like what we did. Record sales were going great. Shows were going great. And, I got a little bit of a big head about that. And then I said a few things to some people. And then within a short period of time after that, I don't know how I realized, it's like having a little conversation with myself. Oh, do you realize what you said to that person? Like, you idiot.
Yeah.
So I actually found myself you calling people on the phone, going to see them personally. Hey, man, I said some things to you that I really have repented of, and we forgive my arrogance. And that was like my ego and my pride and my arrogance that was talking.
Yeah.
And it's better when you can have a little bit of self awareness. So, um, and God has, well, as kind of the main creative engine in the band, I'm also the lightning rod. When people have criticism of the band, they want to criticize the band, and they're going to criticize me. So, I get the credit for being one of the original founding members along with Scotty, but I also get pretty much all of the heat.
Yeah.
People want to vent about things unfairly, usually, but when people want to vent about things, it's always ends up in my inbox.
Yeah. Well, I think, that saying, with great power comes great responsibility. I think that is so true of.
I wish I could just have Spider-Man.
Yeah. Well, I think that's so true as a disciple of Christ. He gave his disciples such great power and responsibility. And I think often as Christians, we forget that there's the power of God inside us, but we have the responsibility to use it wisely.
Oh yeah, that Samson.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I can shred a guitar a little bit, and I say that in all humbleness, because you take like an Yngwie Malmsteen or something, that's like a whole.
I don't know. I put you on top of him in my list.
Way up here. Well, to each his own, I guess. But I mean, I know what my limitations are in the instrument, but it's a very good thing that I can at least do that, because around the home I'm like kind of a bupkis.
Yeah.
I don't contribute that much. I can get out and mow the lawn on then, but I'm not all that mechanically inclined, or my son can fix anything. He's a genius.
Yeah, I know the feeling. This guy can fix anything. Unfortunately, I built this room, but I mean, I wouldn't sleep in it too long. It might fall down on you.
Exactly. So, so it's I have a lot of checks and balances that have been placed into my life, and I have been checked on many occasions. So that has helped me to, have a healthy respect for your own abilities, but at the same time, don't think too highly of yourself.
Absolutely.
Because we're all cogs in the machine of God's army. We're all soldiers.
And God has a good way of humbling you every now and then.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a brutal way, and I've had it.
Oh yeah, for sure. So. I've had moments on stage where I've felt like a complete idiot, and what I said, I was like, I wish I could take back, because I didn't mean it that way. I didn't mean to treat my bandmates that way. Or on the road, you can get tired on the road, and living in close quarters and being with each other 24/7 for a while, your attitudes can start to collide, and there's a lot of realness that comes out that maybe sometimes you don't want the world to see. And
you know what, though? I got to tell you, in all sincerity, with Whitecross Mach 3, or whatever iteration we're on right now, is far and away the best. I love my guys. They love me. We all love each other, and we all make it a point to just go out of our way to help each other. And the vibe of the camaraderie is better than it's
That's
ever
awesome.
been.
Yeah,
And
that's a good way
that
to
is,
put it.
you know, it's like I enjoy being in the band again,
Yeah,
you know, and there's this whole,
yeah.
you know, because I was ready to hang it up. You know, I thought, well, I guess, you know, the group has kind of run its course, and we had a long run, but I thought that the train was in the station. But, you know, we have another more miles to
There you
go.
go. Yeah. So was there
And
ever?
then we were able to hang out and do the new album and everything, and we've had
Yeah.
shows, and just now it's just a whole different vibe.
So would you say there was ever a time in your whether you're on the studio or on stage or maybe even traveling to and fro where you could say that the presence of God stopped you in your tracks?
Oh yeah.
Was that like a jaw-dropping moment or experience, or was that oh gosh?
I'm trying to think of specifics, but well, I believe that God has sort of now he put that desire on me as a young man to create a band that was oriented around you know lifting up the name of Christ. Because you know we didn't call it Christian. I didn't call it Christian rock back then. I didn't know what Christian rock
Right.
was, but the whole genre. I just wanted a band. I just wanted to have a rock band that would acknowledge, you know, people just you know come right up to the point of you know then you don't acknowledge God's hand in things and somebody's got to give God the
Right.
credit. You know that's all I was looking
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
That you know little by little I just started discovering oh these other bands that are doing it. You know Petra and Striper and Res Band and so on down the line. And then, you know, I got to meet a lot of people um, early on. But I think with that, God has sort of, um, I think He's had His hand on the band, and I think He's brought us through a lot of situations. Um, there was one incident when we were driving around we had a Chevy, was a half-ton van, standard size van, and we were towing a trailer, and the rear axle broke on the trailer. We were on it. There was an 8-lane super highway. It was like or 10 or 12 lanes, just like you know, this huge highway with a median strip in the middle. You know, like 5 or 6 lanes going one way, 5 or 6 lanes going the other way. And we were in the far right lane, and the axle broke. And I was in the back. I heard it. I heard the you know the brake sound when the wheel broke off. Oh, and the next thing you know, my head was down like this. I bolted up. I looked out the window. There's sparks. You know, as the van is grinding on the highway. I was horrified. I looked the other way, and I saw the wheel boing boing boing, and I thought, oh no, somebody's going to get killed because it's like there's you know people going 70 miles an hour down the road. And we're on the far left lane, so it's got it, and it went all across all 8 lanes or whatever it was. It's like, oh my gosh, and it didn't, and it without killing anybody. And I think that was God just looking out for us and keeping people safe.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you would think, well, what are the odds that it's going to hit somebody somewhere? It's going to go through somebody's windshield and kill somebody, but it didn't. And it's like I still have like the memories of those kinds of things are etched in travel memories are etched in the brain.
That definitely put a stop, you know.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's get to some guitar, shall we? So if your guitar could talk, what do you think it would complain about after being on the road with you?
Yeah. How come you don't practice more?
Oh, who needs practice?
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
So now you're stranded on a desert island with one amp, one snack,
funny.
and one worship song. Let's hear what you would be playing.
Who will you follow?
Hey,
I'm working on those songs from our first album, and I agree with Paul Stanley. Says, you know what, there's bands that are so tired of their catalog, and they just want to play new stuff, and the fans just want to hear the old stuff. So now the way you got to look at it is, it's like, wow, 30 some years in, and people still want to hear these songs. How amazing is that? And it's a privilege to play those songs for people if they still want to hear them.
for sure.
And so as an artist, it's like, well, I'm still discovering new things that I can do with those songs, like from our first album. I'm still discovering new tricks, and
For sure.
and you have to practice and keep it fresh. And
I mean, come on. There's no second chances.
yeah, I was working on the solo in that song, and we had this great engineer, Simon Hanhart from Great Britain, and he was over there in his posh, his cultured, refined British accent. Oh, gosh, Rex, shall we have another go at this? Yeah, Simon, let's do it. So I had this one lick. So the solo goes. The second half, and then this lick right here. That lick right there. I mean, we got up to that lick, and I didn't have the technique to play that lick, and we kept just punching in on that spot for about an hour and 10 minutes. Wow. And there was a certain fear factor for me because with the old, in the analog world, in the old days, every time it takes two fingers on the transport to hit. You have to hit the play button and the record button at the same time, and they have to. And there's you have to push. It's a mechanical click. You have to click the switch through the button. And Simon was cool as a cucumber. Now every time you hit record, you are literally erasing whatever was there before. So for him to get out, so at the end of this note, he's got a microsecond to punch in to get to that. And if he misses one time, then we've lost the other note, and then we have to go back and start doing repairs, and then it's a nightmare. And then you're there until next Tuesday.
Oh, for sure.
And I was in there for an hour, well over an hour 10, hour 15 minutes, and couldn't get it. And Simon knew, and he was just cool as a cucumber. Nope, that's not the one. Try again. Nope. And it's like we didn't even, we'd get to it, and he'd like, I'm like, no, just like, try it again. But I was getting closer, and then on that take, just looked up at me like this, like that. We both looked at each other. Yep, that's it. And then it was just, we moved on. We never spoke about it. But I was so relieved and impressed with his tape recording skills. It was a big thing, and then with my private students, with my online guitar lessons,
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked me, "Can you show me that lick?" And I said, "Well, it's approximately here, but I don't know what it is." If you play it, there's a certain amount of the delay and
Right.
reverb on the lead riff, so it's like if I could isolate the note for note without any effects on them, maybe I could figure it out. But it's like to this day, I don't really know what I did. But I knew I needed to use the pick. I didn't have enough technique to pick notes, and that's why I do all this stuff. That's why I do all the finger tapping from the earlier days because that was a way of compensating because I didn't have enough technique to play fast with the pick. Now it's like my picking has improved a little bit, so I can do some of that, but I can't, so there's less need. There's less need for that. So it's more with the pick now. But so that's how my playing has evolved a little bit. But man, that when I think of that album, that whole album, that's like one of the things that I look at. Yeah, there's that song, No Second Chances. It was a great song, and it's like, man, that solo is like mentally it was a tough one.
So, do you remember the movie Crossroads?
Yeah.
Do you remember the solo?
It was such a great movie, and it's like, why did they ruin it with the casting?
Oh, for sure. I agree with that.
Anybody but Ralph Macchio. Come on, that was the best they could do. It's like,
So
Steve Vai was great.
That solo at the end between Steve Vai and Ralph Macchio, one of my all-time favorites. And I kept going, is Rex playing that and they just dubbing it over?
No, I was totally inspired by it.
Yeah, it's such a great solo, and I was like, man, that just sounds something like that's something Rex would definitely play. So,
well, I started out on piano when I was 5, and then in the 3rd grade, made me about like 8 years old, something I guess, or 11. I don't know. How old are you in the 3rd grade? I don't remember. It was the 3rd grade, and they came around and they were passing out the instruments, the classical music instruments, and so they handed me, and they were recruiting for the orchestra, and so I picked up the violin, and it just kind of felt right in my hands. I go, this is, yeah. I was like, I could do this, So then I started into violin very heavily, and I played the violin all the way through senior year in high school, and then I switched to upright bass. So the bottom line is I have all these classical violin etudes. Maybe like, it's like a... things like that, and you do this on the violin, and just the sound of that, I think, kind of burned into the brain, and that's why I do a lot of that sort of thing.
Well, it's fun to listen to.
That's my style, That's the song.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, Rex, your story, your faith, and your music, it's clear that you have never just played about Jesus, but that you have been living with him in you.
Yeah, I know there's someone out there right now thinking, I've made too many mistakes or I'm too far gone. But listen, grace shreds through the lie every time.
And if you've been chasing purpose in this applause, achievement, or even just trying to be perfect and a perfect father. Let me tell you, there's a better foundation, and his name is Jesus. He's not asking for perfection. He's offering you redemption.
So whoever you are at, whether you're in your car, your garage, or your prayer closet, just surrender it all to him right now.
So if you're out there chasing applause or lost in the noise of the world, hear this. Jesus isn't waiting backstage. He's front and center, arms wide open.
And if the gospel can shine through heavy metal, it can shine through anyone. Come to the cross. That's where the real power is.
A huge thanks to our amazing sponsors who keep us running smoother than Rex tone knob. That's really hard to do.
Sabbath Coffee Roasters, because foundational fathers need foundational caffeine.
Sasquatch Gun Oil, because it smells like victory and pine.
The Intentionally UNCMN Initiative, for men who reject average.
And Arnold Brothers Heating and Cooling, saving families from both hellfire and humidity. All right, but before we go, we want to bring things home. We've got to say it again for all the folks listening out there. Whitecross is back with this new album, Fear No Evil, and it's out. It's been out now. It's a full-blown, heaven-sent, riff-slaying revival album.
I'm talking about power chords with purpose, solos soaked in scripture, and lyrics that hit harder than your Sunday sermon.
And this isn't just music, it's a mission. Bold, unapologetic, rooted in truth.
If you've ever wanted your faith walk to come with a little more distortion, Fear No Evil is your soundtrack.
So whether you're rocking out in the truck, your garage gym, or just trying to survive a Monday, let this album remind you, we don't fear evil, we face it. In Christ, we overcome.
Go stream it now on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever righteous riffs are found.
And don't forget to buy the actual CD, because it's such an honor to talk with such a goat and know his guitar is grounded in the Word. Whitecross is back. The kingdom is loud, and fear, it's got no place in the set list.
Rex, this was a gift, man. Thank you for joining us and being a blueprint on integrity in the music world.
You're welcome, Marcus. Nick, thank you so much.
And until next time, Rex, lead strong, love boldly, and live your legacy like it depends on it, because it does. This is the Mute Bass Player alongside Marcus the Philippian and Rex signing off. We'll see you next week.